Hello guys, what's up? Finally, I was on the final exam for the expertise English course. In this video, I will present the issue of bureaucratic culture. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Senja Rantika, study number 1916041007. I am majoring in Public Administration, University of Lampung. And now, it's time for you to watch this video. Let's check it out. Talking about public administration cannot be separated from public service activities. The administration of public service is provided by an administrator to the community as a form of fulfilling the public interest, as stated in Undang-Undang Number 25 of 2009 concerning public service. Public service are a series of activities in order to fulfill service needs in accordance with law for every citizen and resident for goods, service, and administrative service provided by public service providers. The main objective of public service is basically to satisfy and fulfill the needs of society fairly and equitably in order to create general welfare. To achieve this condition, public service are required to have excellent service performance in accordance with the wishes of the public. What is the ideal service? The ideal public service is public service that is responsive, transparent, and accountable. That is, public service must be sensitive to the various interests and problems that exist, disclose information to the public, and be accountable in accordance with established regulations and laws. Are public service in Indonesia ideal? In fact, public service in Indonesia say the opposite. The service received by the community are considered to be less informative, less responsive, inefficient, difficult to access, weak coordination, and bureaucratic in nature. The shortage of public service in Indonesia can also be seen from the institutional side. Weakness bureaucratic structure result in more complex coordination chains, hierarchical in nature. This is related to the centralism of decision-making authority. Low hierarchical form result is slow and conflicted problem-solving decision. This results in the low responsive of public service to the community. In addition, the lack of clarity of standard operating procedure. Such problems have been felt in public administration in Indonesia for many years and can be felt in various public administration agencies. This it can be said that public service in Indonesia are not ideal or not in accordance with the condition desired by the community. If problems with public service are not handled promptly, they will cause bureaucratic disease that can backfire from public administration reform. One factor causing the low quality of public service in Indonesia is organizational culture. Basically, the bureaucratic organization is a street-level bureaucracy that provides service to the community in order for the service provided to be of high quality and prime. A good organizational culture is needed in a bureaucracy. So, what is bureaucratic culture? Bureaucratic culture is a system or set of values that has symbols, value orientation, belief, knowledge, and love experience that are realized in the mind, then actualized in the attitude, behavior, and action carried out by the bureaucratic apparatus. Therefore, the organizational culture of the bureaucracy will determine what can and should not be done, determine the normative limit of the behavior of organization member, determine appropriate work method, and other. The better the organizational culture that develop in the bureaucracy, the greater the quality of service provided and the level of community satisfaction will increase. However, it should be noted in Indonesia the growing bureaucratic culture tends to be viewed negatively. This is marked by the organizational slack culture that has spread to the Indonesia bureaucracy. Organizational slack tends to be patrimonialism. This means that the administration of public service provided by administrator is inefficient and ineffective, or overconsuming and underproducing, not objective, ignoring public interest, and an administrator placing himself as a political elite, not as an instrument of the people. This can occur due to rigid service orientation, narrow service vision, inadequate control over administrative and engineering, and increasingly fat public unit but not facilitated with balanced personnel, equipment, and budgeting. As a result, the public service provided are slow and also unresponsive to the needs and aspirations of the public interest. With that, the level of public trust in public organizations fits along with the decline in the quality of public service they receive. The emergence of a negative impression and loss of public trust in the bureaucratic apparatus is caused by the performance of the bureaucratic apparatus in providing service unable to respond to community needs. Along with the dynamic development of globalization, public services are required to be competitive, responsive, effective, and efficient. Commitment to the value of public service is a must for government officials. Therefore, we need to change the culture of public administration organizations, such as slowness turned to quickness, top-down approaches to a bottom-up philosophy, bureaucracy turned to neighborhood, bigness to smallness. In other words, bureaucratic reform is needed. Organizational culture and bureaucratic reform are part of public administration which are closely related. Organizational culture is one of the focus of reform as well as challenge to achieve good governance. Improving organizational culture is one of the most difficult dimensions of behavior in the implementation of the bureaucracy. If we from its history, the cultural roots of bureaucratic organization in Indonesia are influenced by the form of the kingdom, so that the culture that is created tends to be feudal in nature with obedience to the king or leader is the highest form of devotion. This has become a doctrine in public service delivery that is difficult to avoid. This condition becomes an obstacle to the implementation of bureaucratic reform, where the influence of feudal culture is still deeply rooted in the structure of public organization. As a result, the values brought about by reform are difficult to implement and take a long time. This is one example of why bureaucratic reform in Indonesia tends to run slowly even though it has been going on for years. In this case, bureaucratic reform must be followed by a paradigm shift in the innovation culture of the government bureaucratic organization. To improve the administrator's performance in providing optimal service, it is carried through a culture of innovation which is also part of reform. The innovation culture emphasizes creative ideas and initiative in providing breakthrough solutions to public service problems. Innovation has provided a wider room for change and has the value needed in the true organizational culture. Innovation in the role of bureaucratic organizational culture aims to improve the performance of the public service optimally by not changing their identity as a professional servant. In this case, mindset of the bureaucratic apparatus to be more open and able to adapt to changing situation and condition in the bureaucracy as well as change due to the rapid development of science and technology. Therefore, a culture of bureaucratic innovation must be able to build a culture of openness and democracy so that it can foster a level of public trust in the local government which will have an impact to the welfare of the community at large. If you get here, it means you are at the end of the video. Now, it's time for me to say goodbye. Thank you for watching and see you later.